Good to see you. We are joined, as always, by Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes Red Apron, 3 locations, Union Market, Merrifield, and in Penn Quarter. Also in Penn Quarter, right next door, you will find the Partisan and also Columbia Firehouse in Old Town. Greg, always good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What is on tap this week?
So this week, we have a new beer from Crooked Stave out in Denver, Colorado. It's interesting. We do see beers from Crooked Stave here at Church Key and a few of our other NRG accounts because they come to us through an importer. But otherwise, it can be tough to find Crooked Stave beers in this area. That said, this is a beer that was brewed at Westbrook Brewing Company. It's Crooked Stave's table beer. This is a series of beers. It's got a kind of a whole story to it where a number of different brewers are kind of asked to create their desert island beer. Like, if you had to drink one beer for the rest of your life, please do it. So there's been an Evil Twin table beer, there's been a Stillwater table beer, and now a Crooked Stave table beer. So it makes sense in a number of ways. It was designed by Justin Phillips, who's the founder of a restaurant called Beer Table, which was originally in Brooklyn, a very small, amazing kind of place dedicated to the art of pairing beer and food. They've closed that location, and I think that they're in the middle of opening a bigger location, but I don't think it's open quite yet. Anyways, he came up with the idea. So this is Crooked Stave's version, and because it's part of this series, it's brewed at Westbrook, and it's distributed by 12% Imports, the same guys who distribute Stillwater, Evil Twin. So we're going to see more of this beer than we would typically from Crooked Stave. So 3.6%, sort of saison, unfiltered, obviously. It is heavily hopped, well hopped, I should say.
Great.
And finished with a little bit of Brettanomyces wild yeast.
Oh, that's real nice beer.
A little bit of acid there.
Yeah.
Tartness.
Yeah,
There's got a little
real,
lactic character,
real
lactobacillus.
lemon
Lemony
taste,
as hell, yeah. Really crisp, refreshing. And the cool thing about this, 3.6% alcohol. Well, I guess cool if you like low alcohol beers, but if you're looking to get wasted, it's probably not a cool thing for it.
The world would be better for me if brewers never made beer above 3.6.
It's really, yeah, for most of us, I think.
Taste-wise, maybe not, but.
So it's it's a cool series, and to
really
see what these brewers come up with. So like you said, so Crooked Stave's recipe, they brew it at Westbrook. The idea, it's neat too because it's beer table coming from that restaurant, but also in this case, now not every one of the beer table beers is in fact this is the lowest of alcohol of any of them yet, is a table beer in the historic sense. So for most of Western history, beer was consumed much more, believe it or not, than it is today as far as hours of the day. And one of the reasons for that is, not necessarily that you couldn't drink the water. That's always kind of been like
a little bit mythical.
I think it's a little mythical because, I just think people could drink water and did drink water. I don't think that it was just like.
Well, yeah, because back then they didn't have a campground upstream
right,
with 18 porta potties right next to the water.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but no, I'm sure they had some issues. Though,
yeah, surely there were, but a quick boiling of water will take care of that too. And really, that's the thing is that beer's better for you than raw water. Maybe in the old days before sewage treatment and things like that, not because of really anything, but the fact that the boiling is what made it. Antibacterial.
That's what
so you can do the same with water.
That's what I keep telling my wife in the morning when I, have a beer.
So yeah, I'm being historic.
It's better than water.
Nostalgic. But I do think what it is, though, really is it goes back to the fact that, well, even today, I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he and his wife were in Germany just a week ago, and at a number of places, his wife, his girlfriend, actually had to pay for water.
You married them already.
Right, yeah,
You're in trouble now.
No, but you have to pay for water. In certain German bars, they'll charge you for the water. It's very interesting when you think about, well, even in the United States, I mean, we didn't drink water the way that we do today 20, 30 years ago,
Yeah, no.
Your parents didn't drink bottled water.
And again, it's, some of that bottled water is probably most people watching know, is subject to less regulation
Yeah, I know,
than the
than
stuff that comes
drinking
out of your
water. Yeah,
tap.
exactly.
So it's a fantastic scam. Might be too strong
Yeah,
of a
you never
word.
know, yeah.
Too strong of a word, but no, yeah. That's
I mean, and so you think about that, it's like, in those cultures, if you're making beer, I mean, you get lots of nutrients and things like that from your beer. There's vitamins, minerals, but also it's just part of your culture. So the table beer is interesting because it's the lowest alcohol. It's the cheapest. It's the lowest alcohol, so you can drink it with meals, and your children can drink it, which literally they used to. So this is a throwback to the old table beers that, even monks, the kind of Belgian style light beers that the monks drank, that was a table beer of sorts.
Some of I took a few pictures when last time we were in Germany. We went to Andex.
Yeah, Andex, yeah.
And they have a great outdoor beer garden, and there was a kid there. He must have been about 7 or 8, having a beer with his folks.
Yeah.
A Radler, so it was a watered down,
Yeah.
probably maybe 1%, but
Exactly. And just like that's why
So-
I think the drinking age is 16.
and it's
same
not, and
idea.
then it's not a mystery to he doesn't grow up thinking, oh, I want what my parents are having, but they say I can't have. Anyway, not to get into a sociological discussion.
And
about
also, when you think about it too, in a lot of ways, like if you've got really low alcohol, what you're drinking now is basically an old form of soda. I mean, it's sugar based, though fermented out, so it's not as sweet and loaded with corn syrup or something like that than soda. But like it isn't as strange as it might sound. Now, it might be strange if somebody's drinking. There's not like vodka. Table vodka or something like that. That's different, but
low octane bourbon.
But even low octane wine is different. You can't make. So
Right.
beer is one of the big three that you can create flavorfully at a ABV of like 3.6%. It's remarkable.
It's been great the past 3 weeks here at Beer of the Week. 2 out of the 3 brewers I've never heard of before.
Really?
Which I love that.
Yeah,
It's
trying
great.
some
And
new
that's
stuff
not,
out.
not necessarily unusual. But
Yeah, and Chad Jacobson is the guy behind Crooked Stave. He's a really cool dude. He wrote his master's dissertation on Brettanomyces. So he is really, he's very science-based. He has a scientific approach. He loves wild yeast. His Crooked Stave brewery, which his new brewery opened recently, and then he's got a separate barrel storage facility as well. They specialize in funky oak-aged beers, and they're incredible beers to boot.
it's real nice. What would you pair it with?
It's great too. Now we're not drinking, stout, 10.5% stouts with ginger and marshmallow fluff in them. So I think pairing seems to be a little bit more possible and important for this beer. That lemony zest and kick makes you think immediately of seafood, but simple stuff, because this beer seems simple. It's low alcohol. You can just drink it, So I could see doing this with, just pop open some oysters, some steamed clams would be crazy good. Grilled shrimp would be amazing. Seared scallops, fantastic. Because the funk's not too big at all. You can do goat cheese of any kind would be fantastic with this. So a little goat cheese, maybe some beets and goat cheese salad, be fantastic as well.
Goat cheese.
Yeah.
If you like it, that's fine.
Oh, that's right. You don't like that's another thing you don't like. Do you
No,
like blue cheese?
I love blue cheese. Yeah.
Like,
I
they
know.
are very
It's a
different.
little strange. Well, I'd love to maybe next summer we check out another one of their beers, because as good as this is right now, it would be really
Even better,
refreshing.
yeah.
Refreshing.
Maybe this could be the way that you start to like goat cheese too.
Nope, not gonna happen.
think so?
But you can keep trying.
Food foibles.
Yeah, it's really nice. Greg, thank you as
Thank
always.
you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another Beer of the Week.